Aloha, everyone. Welcome to Java. This is for the week ahead, September 11th, 2023, tomorrow. Today is Sunday, which marks, I believe, the start of American football season. So I want to thank you all for spending a little bit of time with me. I've got some good things I would really like to go over with you, and I thought I would start off with a little bit of what was actually meant to be humor. So I hope you guys like that. We are still in high risk territory from last week. Basically, they started pricing in that the Fed is not going to hike and that they're going to actually start cutting. I don't think they will, but markets are beginning to price this in and they're moving even deeper into that risk territory. So, looking forward this week, the largest things really is the core inflation numbers, CPI, that we expect to get on Wednesday. And then also a possible strike from United Auto Workers, UAW, on Thursday. So, other than that, we've pretty much got jobless claims coming in on Thursday and looking at a few other numbers, but I don't think that they will move the markets as much as these other two items. So, as I was saying, the pricing at higher risk and companies are betting against now the quote unquote higher for longer on the bonds and the rates. So what they're doing is they're selling the short-term bonds now and ticking down to try and get longer terms down, waiting for this switch to happen because basically they think rates are going to be coming down very soon. So that's what big money is doing. On the oil and energy front, we've got, of course, Saudi and Russia are working together and they're talking about the oil prices. They've had an incredible run. And they're saying this could be an ominous sign of a new world order. Well, I think one's already underway, and it involves more than just these two countries. It's going to start involving, as we'll see, South Africa, as well as multiple countries, South America. And we're going to see this redistribution in what's going on due to resources. So, along with this, we've also got global demand for Russian liquid natural gas, or LNG, is exceeding output. So that is highly inflationary, and it is also the main heating fuel for friends in Europe. So we can expect our heating costs to go exponentially higher this winter. And, I'm pretty concerned for my friends over there, actually, because this is their main source. With that, we've also got the G20 going on right now, and Brazil's Lula has taken over the presidency from Modi. So basically he's trying to say that he's trying to play the middle and say they don't want to be hacked by geopolitics. It's going to happen anyway. So Biden is leaving for Vietnam. He wants to try and strengthen some ties there. Very ironic. And we've got Nigeria, and this kind of plays into what I was saying earlier. Nigeria seeking to join the G20, which added the African Union. So we're seeing these alliances are changing and shifting before our eyes, and they're going to make a difference, not so much this next week or so, but in the long run. So we've got also the United States, European Union, India, and the Middle East. They just worked on a new rail and shipping network, kind of similar to tie in with the Belt and Road Initiative, but it's something else that's supposed to be opening the trading network on that side of the world to create some alternatives. So with all of this being said, we are looking forward to, we're mid-September and October are typically horrible months for equities. And I believe we're going to see a pullback come into these, whether it's because of a stronger dollar or just the general hitting of that decline. So we'll see what happens. With banks and inflation, I've got quite a bit of information I actually want to go over. The ECB is leaving the door open. They always change their language. So saying their quarter point quandary is keeping the market on tenterhooks. Basically, they're leaving it open to whether they will raise or not. They have to be lockstep with the United States. Otherwise, the currency will get crushed. So more bank news is Citi is launching simplified banking amid efforts to simplify its business. The translation of this means they're closing more branch stores. So closing more branches, less physical services, not forcing you onto the web. Along with that, we've also got JP Morgan Chase closing their branches. They're a little more clear about it. and saying that they're just going to be closing them across the board and looking at using artificial intelligence to decide on whether people would get loans or not. Okay, that being said, I would like to go into some charts that I've been taking a look at. And actually, a couple of these are getting popular on the web now because of what's happening in the banking industry. So, the first one is the unrealized gains and losses in investment securities held by banks. This is from the FDIC. So, this is direct from their website. And these are basically the tan color is the short terms available for sale, and the dark green ones are the ones that they have to hold. So these are unrealized, meaning that if the rates change, that they may not lose so much, but this is not a really good look. Uh, in our next chart, we've got the quarterly change in deposits for banks. And I think these numbers are a bit skewed also. And so what they're saying is this really isn't that bad. But if you look at this chart, the plummeting deposits, uh, the reason they're rationalizing this is that this spike that we had during the pandemic in deposits, which many of these were direct from the federal government, are not being offset, that this is much less in relative terms. And I think that's a huge mistake. But anyway, that's what the chart and the data is telling us right now. So going to this graph, this is the delinquency rate on credit cards and all commercial banks in the dark blue. Looking at this trending up, of course, higher delinquency rates. The red is unemployment trending, and this is according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and this is directly from the website as well. So you can see these if you go on and look directly. These are the charts; they are not messed with. So this is as they are. We're actually having this huge uptick. We've got more room we can go. However, it's not trending in a good direction. So moving on to trade, mostly I just wanted to mention this today because of the inflation. We were talking about this. Now they're calling it a rice crisis. So the Philippines are now curbing their exports. And so it's just continuing the food inflation. And this one goes into Egypt, their inflation soaring because they're having high food costs. So we're just going to have more. This is trending towards the hunger that we're going to see. Worldwide, it's global. Not a good trend. Okay, at this moment, I just want to remind you if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments for me, or just comment on anything in general. If you would hit the like button, it helps tremendously. And I would like to give a shout out to those that have been supporting me by doing this. Thank you all very kindly. For lava updates, I've got something that I would really like to recommend. This is what I'm going to call reality in economics. What's really going on in this world? And this is an old video in particular, but a must watch in my opinion. If you don't know who John Perkins is, the title is Confessions of an Economic Hitman. So I've kind of been holding off before I brought this in, but I think that people in this channel are ready to see this, or you already know about it. And if I get banned for this, then so be it. I'm going to leave this below. It's talking about how things really work with how we do economic trade. So moving on to a couple of other stories I would like to bring up before I let you go to your Sunday. This is talking about the gun grab, deep blue state there, meaning California, because they approved an 11% increase in taxes on firearms and ammunition. And if I remember correctly, I think the Tea Party was started over a tax on the tea that was less than 5%. So we'll see how this goes. Another story regarding something similar is that New Mexico governor took absolute power and suspended a constitutional right for 30 days. And so there's issues there. We'll see how that goes. With that, I would just like to ask that you put out positive thoughts, prayers if you are one to pray for these people that are they're suffering more deaths. Morocco, the earthquake, I know everybody has heard about it. The death toll they're saying now is over 2,000, as well as Istanbul, because the floods there are still taking its toll. So if you would please think some positive thoughts for these people. And with that, I would like to wish you all a wonderful day. And also, until I see you, my friends, stay free.